Washington 32, Tampa Bay 28.
Welcome back to the Kingdom in Seattle. Halftime, Seattle in charge over Denver, 14-0 in a game that they need. And our Coors game summary, our halftime statistics, Seattle dominating. And you know, Jimmy, they might have been able to blow Denver away here in the first half, and they haven't done that.
Well, that's a dangerous part for Seattle right now. They've had Denver on the ropes, but they're only 2 touchdowns up. A big fumble by Kurt Warner earlier in the contest when they were driving would have given them some more points. And the big portion of the day, 2 players stand out so far for Seattle. John Elway scored a couple of touchdowns, one on a 4-yard run to open the scoring in the first quarter. Kurt Warner with a nice block on the corner, and he slips into the end zone behind Bailey, number 65, for a touchdown, and that puts Seattle up by a score of 7-0. Then he came back, showing his receiving ability later on in the contest, coming across the middle with a nice pass catch, and into the end zone he dives, beating Atwater, number 27, and it is 14-0. That's the score here. But maybe the real story of the day has been Rufus Porter, both as a special teamer, and here he is going downfield, weaving his way through and eventually making the tackle on Bell, number 35, but also as a defensive player, he has given Gerald Perry, number 60, for the Denver Broncos, fits in there.
Absolutely fits. In fact, you know, Porter might have just refused to come back out here in the second half. He's really been under a microscope because of Porter's rush. But really, this could be a lot worse. Denver had a nightmare of a first half, and yet they're still in the ballgame. Seattle did not put them away.
No, they didn't. And late in the first half, the kick by Treadwell just hit the crossbar, bounced back in. So things are not going Denver's way. But when you take a look at John Elway, he's not performed poorly today. Everybody wants to put the heat on him, but he has been on target to most of his receivers. He's gotten a lot of balls dropped. People have not been in the right spots for him. And it's this offensive line who has not protected him at all today.
So Treadwell will kick it away as we start the second half. James Jefferson and Elroy Harris are back deep for Seattle as they get the first crack at the football here in the second half, and it's Jefferson. A flag comes flying from upfield as Jefferson goes down to the 30-yard line. We'll check out the flag situation. David Treadwell had only missed 1 field goal before that miss right at the end of the half. He had it right on the money, but it hit the crossbar and bounced back. Here's the penalty. Illegal block. Blocking below the knees right there. And here's the scores coming up on our 10-minute ticker. San Francisco at the half leading 17-10 with Joe Montana injured right at the end of the half there. New Orleans leading over the LA Rams 19-7. Giants have opened it up on San Diego to a 10-point margin, and Phoenix 21-6 over the Falcons in the third. And it's 14-0 here, the Seahawks, as they huddle back now inside their 5. The football marked out by the 15, and that's where they start here in the second half. Joe Montana with the sprained knee being attended to in San Francisco after he was carried off. Sprained knee for Joe Montana. Dave Craig and the Seahawks on first down go to John L. Williams, and he carries up over the 15 out near the 18-yard line. It's been Williams and Warner. They have been able to run the ball, in particular on first down. First down's been a good down for them.
That's been the key. Both Williams and Warner coming off the ball. That time, Cragen doing a good job of beating the center Fiesel and getting up into Williams to hold him to about a 3-yard gain.
Second down at 7 at the 18-yard line. Brian Blades and Paul Scansey, the wide receivers. Just 2 in the lineup right now. The tight end is Robert Tyler, and he lines up in a slot right now off the line of scrimmage. And now comes in motion. Sweep to Warner. Ooh, big hit by the Broncos as they came up to shut the play down. Simon Fletcher came in there and really put the hit on Warner. He came flying through.
Fletcher turns the ball back inside, gets rid of the blocker, and then gets up upfield. But I think the one who comes flying in is Dennis Smith, number 49. Let's try to take a look at it. See, he throws Williams away, and then it is Smith who dives up and through. But Fletcher, playing well all season long, does the job against Warner.
We have an injured Seahawk. Their left tackle, Ron Mattis, is being helped off the field right now, flexing his left leg. There he is going to the sideline. That would mean that their rookie, Andy Heck, would come in, their top draft choice out of Notre Dame. So Heck reports in at left tackle, and Seattle's got a 3rd down and 5 now at the 20-yard line, leading 14-0. One back in the backfield, that's John L. Williams. Atwater coming on a blitz. They beat the blitz with a pass across the middle to Blades for a first down out over the 30-yard line. 11 yards and a first down for Blades.
It's a good read by both Blades and Craig. When they see the blitz coming from Atwater, what they do is Craig looks immediately to that side and gets the slant pattern, the quick slant, because he knows he has man-on-man over the quarter. Haynes trying to get over and make it. But take a look at it. He knows he sees the blitz coming. He breaks his pattern off to the inside and picks up the first down.
They're out at the 32-yard line, 1st and 10. And Craig has him back up. So an important first down because it's kind of a sleepy start to the second half. The crowd quiet, just getting back into their seats. Not that big roar that we heard throughout the first half. And they're trying to get their offense back on board here. Flag goes down in the vicinity of holding as we see John L. Williams bring it out over the 35 to the 37-yard line. Denver pointing that it is against Seattle, and it is holding. There's John L. Williams, so this will march the Seahawks back.
Holding, 54 offense, still first down.
It's on the center, Feasel. Holding penalty on him. Now tonight, following the game on most of these NBC stations, the entertainment lineup starts with the magical world of Disney and A Brand New Life, followed by Sister Kate and My Two Dads. Then take a world-class cruise with an all-star cast: Night Court's Richard Ball, Dear John's Jane Carr, Alf's Andrea Elson, the Hogan family's Josh Taylor, and more, starring the NBC world premiere movie Class Cruise tonight on NBC. First down and a bunch after the holding call. Craig away from pressure to Lewis Clark, and he is immediately hit by Dennis Smith, who came up and knocked him back at the 20-yard line. They'll lose a couple of yards on that play.
Well, what they've done here in the second half is exactly what they've stayed away from in the first half. They put themselves deeper into their own territory because of a penalty on first down. Excuse me, it was second down when they got it. But it marched them back, and that's taken them out of the game plan. Wade Phillips has not been able to stop first down running attack, and now with the big penalty, they're pushed back, and he can dictate what they do against the Seattle offense.
Second down and 22. There's an anxious owner, Ken Behring, looking on the sideline, desperately wants a winner here in Seattle. Second down, 22. Away from Alfonso Carricker. They unload it out of the backfield, and John L. Williams brings it out for a short gain out to the 24-yard line. The first time we've seen big number 92 for the Broncos, Alfonso Carricker, as he get up in the face of Dave Craig there on that rush.
Well, they try to let him do that. See, on this, it's a strange play. It's a screen set up away from the flow to the weak side of the formation. Take a look at it. All the offensive linemen go to the right. They try to force all the defenders over that way. They say, come on, this is where the play is. And all of a sudden, Craig throws it back to the other side. But to Denver, with pretty good defense, they weren't fooled by the play.
Third down and 18 now at the Seattle 24-yard line. 4 wideout split, 1 back in the backfield with Craig. The rollout to the far side. Across the middle, Scansey has it. He'll be short of the first down, I believe, at the 40-yard line. A 16-yard pass play, but they needed 18.
Good job by Scansey. Take a look at him. Inside receiver. That is Chadwick, number 88, and that draws the coverage up front. Scansey taking a tough hit by 27 Atwater. A week ago, Scansey dropped the ball twice, and that is so unusual for him. Dave Craig, I asked him about it. He said, hey, he's the best hands in the NFL. He's allowed to drop one once in a while, and he makes the tough catch there.
Ken Bell standing back at the 20-yard line. Here's Rodriguez to punt it. Bell runs up on a short punt and brings it out over the 30 to the 32-yard line. A 33-yard punt, 3-yard return. The Broncos catching their breath and trying to score when we come back.
Your Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
America's way to go.
As Halloween approached, the Phantom of the Fridge struck again. My secretary Susie was waiting. Waiting. The
Phantom stole the beer.
Coors Light?
Not now, thanks. I'm driving.
Any clues?
Aisle 4.
A high-heeled shoe, a black cape, the Phantom? Prancer!
Enter the Coors Light $100,000 Phantom of the Fridge sweepstakes. Look for clues at this Halloween display and get your Coors Light before the Phantom does.
This year, one airline will pass all the others. We'll have 70,000 more departures than Delta. We'll have 120,000 more departures than American. We'll have 400,000 more departures than United. In fact, this year, U.S. Air will have more departures than any other airline in the free world. So if we sound like an airline that's really taking off, you don't know how right you are. U.S. Air, America's most frequent flyer.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Plymouth and your local Plymouth dealers, who invite you to test drive a Plymouth today. By Coors Light, pure brewed in the Rockies, the silver bullet won't slow you down. It's the right beer now. And by Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
Welcome back to the Kingdom in Seattle. Sellout here today around the NFL now. San Francisco by 7 over the Patriots. The Saints laying on the Rams. The Rams could lose their second in a row. The Giants lead by 7 over the Chargers. And Phoenix by 15 over Atlanta. The Seahawks in a must-win situation here today against Denver as they trail the Broncos by 2 games in the AFC West, lead 14-0 as Bobby Humphrey gets the call and goes out to the 35-yard line.
Now, it's smart for Denver to come back to Bobby Humphrey. He has not done much today, but that's because of the situation the Broncos have been in. They've been forced to try and throw it a lot in the first half. They were just down so early. But there's plenty of time. I mean, there's a full half of football left. He's the guy who's gotten them here so far, especially after the past couple of weeks. They've got to give it to Bobby Humphrey if they're going to be successful today.
He's on the sideline right now. They can't get their running game going. They're averaging less than 2 yards per carry in this ball game. Second down at 6. As that was a rare sight, getting 4 yards on that carry by Humphrey. Vance Johnson in motion. Elway across the middle, tried to get it to Sewell, and it was knocked down. Darren Como was on the chase. In fact, he was the guy that swatted it down. Good play by the linebacker. Elway was looking for Sewell across the middle, and he had him too.
Take a look at it, left part of your screen. Como with his hands up in the air, a low throw on the part of Elway. I mean, Como's not a big guy, and he simply stuck one hand partially up in the air and knocked it down. A low pass by John Elway.
Third down at 6. Winder is in the backfield now with Elway out of the shotgun. 4 wide receivers. Elway saying he can't hear. The official holding his arm up. Johnny Greer. Elway not going to take the snap until things quiet down. There's Johnny Greer. He points at Elway, then he's telling him start the play. But he did not do that.
Of course, Elway wasn't going to look around at him. He was waiting for this call.
If the disruptive crowd noise continues, the defense will forfeit a timeout or be assessed a 5-yard penalty.
Jim, it didn't appear as if it was as loud at that point as it was the last time that Elway was in that situation in the first half.
Chuck Knox peering out. He's saying, now, point the finger at him right now and make him run the play. They did that earlier in the first half, and the play went for nothing for Denver.
It is relatively quiet right now in this dome. They'll get revved up as he comes to the line, but not nearly as loud as it was in the first half.
Third down at 6. The center, Karch, is looking back at Elway as here come the Seahawks across the line of scrimmage. Now, let's see what they call here. The center, 72, Keith Karch, Jimmy, was looking back at Elway to see when he wanted him to snap the football. When he looked back, then Jacob Green came across, Nash came across. They all came filing across the line of scrimmage after the Broncos. Everybody interested here. At first, the Seahawks said that it was going against Denver. But now I don't know. The officials seem to be debating between themselves as to what the call is going to be. And the chant of Elway. Elway starts up from the Kingdom crowd. Listen. Here's the call.
False start. Right guard. Third down.
They call it against Denver.
Well, let's try to see if we can't find any motion on the interior line of Denver. You see Karts looking back to try to get a read about when the snap is going to be, and right on the left-hand side.
I thought Wydell might have moved.
Well, Wydell, that's what the call is right now, but Reeves is upset about this one.
Now, Dan started the day out red hot, and he also had a sport coat on. At halftime, he lost the sport coat, and the shirt sleeves are rolled up.
I'll tell you, as we take a look at the penalties, Denver was 7 for 39 yards. The crowd plays a factor in the movement of the interior line. They're looking inside at the ball, trying to find out when it's snapped, but they're also worried about people like Rufus Porter.
3rd and 11. Elway's going to go big for Michael Young. He's got it. Out of bounds. We might need some replay on that one, Jimmy.
That was an absolutely perfect throw by John Elway, and from this angle, I got to tell you, I agree with Elway. It seemed that Michael Young was in bounds, but here's the eye in the sky to tell us the truth. Great throw by Elway, right over the head of the defensive back and into the arms of Michael Young.
1 foot.
2 feet. I tell you what, I think that...
Did he have it? Are you sure he had the second foot?
It seemed to me like he had the second foot. We can take another look at it to make sure of it, though, but that's certainly close enough to take another look.
The Denver sideline is screaming because they watched the replay up on the screen here at the Kingdom. Elway saying, yeah, and then, oh, it's been that kind of day when the official ruled him out.
Take a look at it. When does he have the football? Does the first foot get in when he gets the football? He's got the ball. 1 foot.
2. Yes.
2 feet. That's a catch. Michael Young and John Elway should get that one, and a first down for the Broncos.
There's the replay booth. Al Sabato is in the booth right now making the decision, but it looked kind of clear, very conclusive there, Jimmy. It looked very conclusive that he had him in. They continue to look it over. The crowd is now chanting that they want the play to continue, but watch 83.
He has the ball, and now the foot is down, and the second one comes in. There's no question about that. That's a catch for Michael Young.
Here's the call.
Review. The pass is ruled complete.
It's a good catch, and a heck of a play by the officials there to see it. Go to the replay, and then the replay showed him that he was in. 46-yard pass play, and it's a huge play for the Broncos.
Well, you mentioned earlier that this crowd seemed a little flat. The Seattle offense was a bit flat when they came out, and this big play by Elway, and Denver's right back into this thing. They're down 14 points, but driving now at the 26-yard line.
So they've been fighting the crowd and themselves, really, all afternoon, the Broncos. But they catch a break right there as Young makes the catch. It was ruled out, but I don't know. Is it all decided yet? We have an official over on the telephone right now, over on the sideline. There he is, checking out the communication.
One of the other questions they could be talking about is where to mark the football.
Absolutely. It's at the 26 right now. That's where they have it. Not happy.
No, Chuck Knox.
Not happy at all.
He had a lot more hair when he was living in Sewickley, Pennsylvania.
Elway underneath center. 1st and 10 at the 26. They are down 14-0. And Bobby Humphrey will get just a couple as Tony Woods, the linebacker, and Jacob Green trip him up by the ankles to knock Humphrey down. There's been very little running room today. Dan Reeve looking out. Scoreboard time around the NFL. 49ers and Saints leading, both in the 3rd quarter.
And the Saints big over the Rams.
Giants and Phoenix leading. And here in the Kingdom, Seattle holding on to a 14-0 lead. And you're getting the sense that they are starting to really hold on right now, too. Denver trying to mount a comeback. 2nd and 8. Elway flushed, and he'll throw it away into the end zone. And out of the end zone with Eugene Robinson and Patrick Hunter trying to get the ball at the back end of the end zone.
Well, they brought Nesby Glasgow, the strong safety, on the play. Good protection that time. They've been much maligned, the offensive front seven of Denver. The Models will give him credit. Good protection by this group, especially when they bring Woods, 57, and Glasgow, number 22. But look at the protection. Plenty of time, but they had to keep so many people in to get that kind of protection. Not enough receivers downfield for John Elway.
So they're sacrificing some bodies out there as receivers, right?
That's exactly right, but they've got to continue to give help to Perry and the other people because of people like Rufus Porter.
Well, to keep the drive going now, they've got to connect here. 3rd down and 8. Rufus Porter, watch him now as he comes from the outside. Elway's running right into him, and then right into another man, and Joe Nash knocks him down. It's the 4th sack of the day of Elway. First it was Porter, and then running away, Elway ran right into Nash.
Gerald Perry, number 60, doesn't do a bad job on Porter. Gets him outside, gets those arms out, keeps him out there. He does a great job, the best that he's done, but that allows the inside play of Joe Nash to come up inside. Again, that time, the Broncos had 4 receivers in the play, and not enough for Elway to find somebody downfield.
All right, they're going to attempt a 47-yard field goal. Kubiak holding for Treadwell. He's 0 for 1 on the day. He's 0 for 2. Nothing Seahawks. We'll be back.
Looking for something phantom, or should I say, Susie? Why?
Well, because Coors Light won't slow you down.
Cupper.
Well, now everyone can enjoy Coors Light this Halloween.
Can I buy you one?
Not now, thanks. I'm driving.
You can still enter the Coors Light $100,000 Phantom of the Fridge sweepstakes.
It's Susie.
Visit the Coors Light Halloween display for clues.
Forget the clues. It's Susie.
All day long. Just off to the corner on 2 of his kicks.
I think the proper time to leave that line alone, and now we're back to the call of the game. Off the right side, Seattle runs. Mark Munford on the stop right there. Kurt Warner on the carry. So Seattle keeps allowing Denver to hang in the ball game, Jimmy, and yet you feel if the Seahawks could get maybe one more score, that could do it.
Well, there's Steve Largent in the middle of your screen. He's up in the booth helping the coaches for the Seahawks. He'll be back in action next week. He's just 1 touchdown catch away from Don Hutson's NFL all-time career mark. He had a broken bone near his elbow in game 1, and he is expected back off injured reserve next week.
Here's a blitz. Craig got away from it, though. But then they finally track him down as Denver was on him all the way. Ron Holmes and Dennis Smith were coming from the right side. Holmes missed him the first time, but then Craig ran right back into him.
Let's take a look at it. I mentioned Craig has some good mobility. He can move around in the pocket. A little nervous feet a bit, more than enough time, but he simply had no one downfield. But he does have that ability to get away from an ongoing pass rush. And as I mentioned, for my money, David Craig is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. The problem is he looks like a janitor outside of the regular football uniform, and so people think, well, he's not much of a quarterback. That's simply not the case.
Wade Phillips looking out at his defense, which just recorded their first sack, and it's 3rd down and 10 now for the Seahawks. 4 wide receivers in. And the ball is kicked off by Tyrone Braxton. And he goes down inside Seattle's 30-yard line, stepping out at the 27-yard line. There is a flag down on the play. But Tyrone Braxton makes the catch on the interception and runs it back 19 yards. There is no flag, so the interception stands, and the Broncos are right back in it again if they can score.
Well, Craig made the mistake here. Remember I mentioned earlier they played in this deep zone, someone underneath and someone deep downfield. He's got to fit it in between the 2 defenders. There it is. He does not get enough on the football. Braxton steps in front of Blades and gets down the sideline. Another throw by David Craig.
6:05 left, 3rd quarter. I formation. Winder and Humphrey behind Elway. He's rifling across the middle, and the pass is caught inside the 15-yard line. It's Mark Jackson, and the Broncos have a first down. And any question marks about Mr. Elway's arm, no worry, because that had a lot of zing on it.
He's got a bazooka arm. Smoke comes out of his elbow on occasion. Take a look at this. This throw can only be made by John Elway. He's got to zip this ball in because the closing of Patrick Hunter, number 27, is terrific. But before he can get to it, Elway's pass makes it to Mark Jackson.
There's Jackson lining up outside now. 1st and 10 inside the 15-yard line. One back in the backfield. That's Humphrey. And they pitch it to him. Good blocking to the 5. Inside the 5. Out at the 3-yard line. It will be 1st and goal. We're going for an update to New York, and here's Bob Costas.
Okay, Jim, the Patriots have just tied the 49ers. It's Grogan under pressure just before he's released. He lofts it to Stanley Morgan. The 19-yarder was set up by a 52-yard connection from Grogan to Irving Fryer. They're tied at 17 now with 7.5 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. Jim?
A beauty at Stanford Stadium and a beauty developing here in the Kingdom. 1st and goal now. Denver at the Seattle 3. 2-back set in the I formation. Remember, they've lost their big blocking fullback, Alexander. He's out of the game. Winder's in there along with Humphrey. That's Sewell in motion. Humphrey the call. Bangs tries to get in. He's close. Inside the 1.
Melvin Jenkins on the defense.
And this is the position on the field they most miss Jeff Alexander. The big fullback who can help. He's almost like an ace up front man for you, but they don't have it. They have to use Winder, who's a small guy. And maybe the difference between getting into the end zone and not getting in is a block by a fullback.
2nd down and goal. The crowd now rises, trying to urge on the Seahawks defense. Inside the 1. Humphrey had trouble with the football on that handoff. That was really a little bit of a problem, but he did hang on. They're pushed back, though.
The reason there was great penetration by the Seattle front 7. Nesby Glasgow, number 22 Submarines, coming in from the outside. There he is. He gets into the backfield, and that's what stopped Humphreys right at the line of scrimmage. Great penetration by Seattle.
He never really had a chance to get his bottom arm underneath that football. You saw that thing was really exposed. 3rd down from the 1.
Look for the play-action fake by Elway here.
Elway saying, I can't hear. Johnny Greer holding that arm up. Points to him. Now he's got to run the play. And now he says, I can't hear again. I think the play clock had run out on him.
If the disruptive crowd noise continues, the defensive team will forfeit a timeout or be assessed a 5-yard penalty.
Now this crowd has got to be smart, because if they're penalized, it changes the play calling of the Denver Broncos. They're at the 1-yard line now. It may be some play action here. Dan Reeves has liked the reverse, oddly enough, this deep inside. But if they get to the half-yard line because of the penalty, they can give the ball a Humphrey to dive up over the top. This crowd has got to be smart in this situation.
Reeves knows that Denver has to put this thing in. Down 14-0. 3rd down, goal at the 1. There's Johnny Greer. Over the top. Guys, they didn't get in. Winder could not get in. And it's 4th down and decision time.
Last week, take a look at it again. Again, the great penetration by Nash up front. That's Submarines, the running back, and he does not get into the end zone. Another look at it. Great job by the defensive front of Seattle to stop, and Elway even goes down. They got back in very quickly and got him on the ground as well.
So it's 4th and goal. Inside the 1. Reeves looking out. I formation, Winder and Humphrey. Elway stands up, saying he can't hear. He wants quiet. All right, the crowd does die down.
But they have run the reverse to Sewell, number 30, in this position before, and with the great penetration of Seattle, look for some kind of misdirection play by the Broncos.
Here we go. We're going to get a new clock right now as Denver will re-huddle. Chuck Knox looking out. 14-0 Seahawks. But the ball is inside the Seattle 1. It's 4th and goal. Again, he steps away. The defensive players are asking the crowd to quiet down. Again, he stands up.
If they move that thing another 6 inches into the end zone, they may cost this team a touchdown.
Trying to go wide. Humphrey got hit. Drives. Touchdown, Denver. He got stopped but stayed upright and then peeled off the side and went in. Great run by the rookie. Boy, you want to talk about a tough yard to get, Jimmy.
Well, again, it was great penetration by the front of the Seattle defense. And it's only Humphrey who gets this thing in. Take a look at it. The right side is stood up. A nice hit inside by 53 Darren Como, but he's not able to wrap him up. And Humphrey, despite the sore ribs, has got enough gumption to get into the end zone. Watch Como, 53 with a big hit. Doesn't wrap him up, and Humphrey, a tough rookie, gets in for the score.
Extra point by Treadwell is good. And Denver, on a 4th down and goal, gets it in for the touchdown. There's a flag down on the kick. Broncos are reacting as if it's against them. Rick Dennison was jumping up and down. Tripping call against the Broncos. Never easy for any visiting team, but especially the Broncos coming in here.
55 on the kicking team.
Well, Dennison was upset because it was against him.
And now this makes it a real tough job because the 10-yard penalty puts this as a 30-yard PAT for Treadwell.
There's Dennison. He was nailed for the tripping call. Treadwell will try, as Jimmy said, about a 30-yard point after touchdown attempt. No trouble. It's good, and it's 14-7. Like pulling teeth for the Broncos every yard they've gotten today. But they're on the board. Denver Broncos get on the board with 2:11 left to go in the 3rd quarter. And have cut Seattle's lead down to 14-7. David Treadwell has it on the tee, ready to kick it away to either Elroy Harris or James Jefferson. Momentum shift in the game? I think so. Maybe back towards Denver. Here's Jefferson from his 5. Tyrone Braxton makes the hit out over the 25 to the 26-yard line. It's the 7th Sunday of action here in the NFL. Jerry Rice has just caught a touchdown pass from Steve Young as the 49ers break that tie with New England. Jim Everett has thrown some touchdown passes. The Rams getting back into that game. San Diego trailing by 7 to the Giants, and Phoenix in total control over the Falcons. We're in the 3rd quarter here at the Kingdome with 2:02 left, and Seattle with the ball and a 7-point lead. At their own 26-yard line, David Craig, who just threw an interception, it sets up a Denver score, hands it off to John L. Williams, and a good run out to the 35-yard line. Wyman Henderson is over to make the tackle. A good pickup for the Broncos, a Plan B free agent from the Vikings coming over to make this team.
Well, this is the first time during the second half that the Seahawks had gotten big yardage on 1st down with the running game. Take a look at it. Left side, they're pulling the tackle, number 75, Mike Wilson. Brian Millard is also on the pull, and it's not until Henderson comes over to make the tackle 9 yards downfield to Denver's as the Broncos stop the Seahawks.
2nd down and 1. Craig at his own 35. Back it goes to John L. Williams. He is stuffed. Simon Fletcher is in on the tackle. We'll step out for an NFL update. Here's Bob Costas.
Okay, Jim, with Joe Montana on the sidelines nursing a bruised knee, it's Steve Young in at quarterback, but the same receiver, Jerry Rice, makes the catch, dodges tacklers. 50 yards later, He's in the end zone, his second TD reception of the day, his 8th of the year. That leads the league, and San Francisco leads New England 24-17. 5 minutes to go in the third.
Surprised a bit that New England's hanging in that game, Jimmy?
Given that we've done their games the last couple of weeks, and the Patriots last week just imploded against the Atlanta Falcons. As we take a look, it will not be enough for a first down for the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, I'm a little surprised. The problems with their quarterback situations will not be solved today. Steve Grogan not the answer for the future for the Patriots, but certainly has enough gumption and enough experience to move a club on one given afternoon.
It is third down and just about a half yard to go for a Seattle first down. Down to 1:10 left here in the third quarter. That's what they've done on third down conversions. Not good, and a lot of that, those 2 for 9, they got their first 2, and I think they've missed their last 7. Travis McNeil in motion. And there's Kurt Warner spilling off and should have the first down on that semi-dive. And he does. First down, Seattle.
There's been a lot of criticism lately of Kurt Warner, and I don't think it's deserved in many ways. He had one of the most severe knee injuries that any player in the NFL has ever experienced. Yet he got back onto the field and has played fairly well given that injury. He's quite a ball player. Tough, hard-nosed running back.
Play action fake, and Craig up top for Scansey. Oh, what a hit put on Scansey after he made the catch across the middle. I believe that's Steve Atwater. It is the rookie who went head-hunting on Scansey after a 16-yard pass play for a first down.
And you can't ask for a better pass pattern. There's a look at Scansey running the defensive back off before making the break. There's much too room up there. Tyrone Braxton, number 34, giving much too much room to Paul Scansey. He simply does not have the speed to dictate playing 12 yards off.
That's the end of the third quarter. Seattle holding on to a 14-7.
Denver back into this contest. They totally dominated the first half. It was the big pass play between Elway and Young that got this going. But what happened to Rufus Porter? We've not mentioned his name the entire third quarter. It's something that Denver on defense has got to do to affect Elway and the offense of the Broncos.
Yeah, Gerald Perry was having a handful trying to block him as Warner gets the carry on first down and goes down to the Denver 43-yard line. Gain of 3 yards, make it second down and 7. 14-7. Seattle led 14-0 early. Had the lead at halftime. Denver got on the board on a fourth down conversion from the 1-yard line on a run by Bobby Humphrey. As we start the fourth quarter. Dan Reeves, it's really been a battle for him on that sidelines all day long. His team easily could have been blown out of this place in the first half, but their defense has kept them in the game. And indeed, a defensive turnover, an interception by Tyrone Braxton set up the score. Look at Warner change directions. A great play by Michael Brooks to come in there. He almost took the handoff with Warner, and that blew that play apart.
Well, Michael Brooks has great strength. He's the one who messed this play up completely. He stuffs the blocking back in the middle of the backfield, and then he gets help from the inside. Take a look at it. John Elway stuffed by Brooks, number 56. And then he gets the help from everybody else. Braxton and Mecklenburg and company come over to finish it off.
Setting up a third down and 9. 4 wide receivers in, Chadwick and Clark. As you look at Warner getting dumped by Braxton. Blades and Scansey. From the Denver 45. Clark makes a nice catch. Atwater held on to him and then got some help. It's at the 39-yard line, but they're shy of the first down. They must punt. Lewis Clark really did make a nice catch down low, and Steve Atwater hung on for dear life, because if he loses hold of him, then all of a sudden Clark might slip through and get the first down. Fourth down, they'll punt. He's a rookie. He's been very, very good, hasn't he?
You know what he's as good at as anyone in the league, and even though he's a rookie, he's disguised his defenses so very well. It's something that Dave Craig talked to us about yesterday. He's impressed by Atwater because he can disguise things even though he's just a first-year player.
Rodriguez will try and pin Denver in now. Straight up in the air. I mean, straight up in the air, and it will hit at the 35 to the 40, and Rodriguez has to make the touch. at the 40-yard line. Is that a negative punt? It is. Negative 3 yards on the punt. We'll be right back after these messages from your local state. Punt by Ruben Rodriguez, straight up in the air. In baseball, it's the infield fly rule. With 1 out or less, runners advance at their own risk.
And in football, it's an oddity that the punter is the one who actually downs his own punt.
1st and 10, Denver. Look at the field position now. Out over their own 40. Their field position starting here in the second half has improved. They're starting their drives average-wise at their own 45. That's a shorter field. Going big. Oh, what a catch there. Mark Jackson pulls it down. What a grab by Jackson down at the 10-yard line. A 49-yard pass play.
A bit of an underthrow by Elway, but he puts it in a position for his receiver to get it. He's going against Melvin Jenkins, number 24, and that is a tremendous catch by Mark Jackson, number 80, down the sideline. Good coverage by Melvin Jenkins. You can't do it any better, and Elway puts it into a position, a bit of an underthrow, but that is all Mark Jackson who puts it away.
They're at the 10-yard line, trying to tie the game up. Orson Mobley, the tight end, down the line in motion. Humphrey to the 5, down to the 3-yard line. Bobby Humphrey on a bit of a delay by Elway. Throws those linebackers, and it opened up that hole for the rookie out of Alabama. And they are getting close. And listen right now, Jimmy, listen to this building. That's the way, if you're the visiting team, you like to hear it. Quiet.
At halftime, something happened to this crowd. They lost momentum, and so did their team when they walked onto the field.
2nd down from the 3. Off the side, and David Wyman is there to make the tackle along with Darren Como on the run by Bobby Humphrey. Wyman was the first guy there. They didn't fool him as they kind of sent everybody to the right. Now we have a little altercation after the play. Clarence Kay in there, Wyman's in there along with Eugene Robinson.
Again, it's the delay. Mobley, number 89, helping on the middle of the field. He is the tight end they send in motion, but the right side of the Seattle defense not buying it, and Wyman in, making the big play.
Wide receivers checking out of the Denver offense right now as Chuck Knox is hoping that his defense can dig in right here and hang on to a 7-point lead. Sewell checks in, and they've got tight ends across that line of scrimmage. Kay and Kelly and Mobley. Elway asking for quiet. Third down from the 2. Touchdown, Clarence Kay. Elway with a lot of poise. Didn't seem to have anybody to throw to, and then found Kay. There's a flag down now, and it might have been because of celebration by Kay in the end zone.
Well, Melvin Jenkins was upset. He was pushed, apparently, and I'm going to say apparently, by Clarence Kay. That is what he is claiming. He continued to argue, and then a flag flew, whether it's on Jenkins, number 24. We're not certain, but he did hit the deck when coming into contact with Clarence Kay.
Unsportsmanlike celebration after the touchdown. The touchdown is good. We'll put it on for the kickoff.
You're absolutely right. Now take a look at it. Clarence Kay, number 88, middle of your screen. What happens here? It's actually just a good move on the part of Kay, and Jenkins hits the turf.
And there's the unsportsmanlike celebration.
That's a bit of a cheap call, though. I mean, he spiked the football. Yes, it was in the face of the other player, but I've seen worse. I mean,
yes. I have to give you a one-word answer, but yes. David Treadwell for the tie game here. It's good, and with 10:23 remaining in regulation time, this ball game is even Steven at 14. We'll be back to the Kingdom
afterwards. Now, Melvin Jenkins, 24, take a look at him, middle of your screen. He falls down and is upset and turns back to the official, but Kay spikes it right in the face of the defender, Patrick Hunter, number 27, and there's the call.
Jefferson, the 25 out to the 26-yard line. A nice one-on-one tackle made there by Kip Corrington.
13 yards.
As he comes in to make the stop. So the penalty doesn't come back and give Seattle all that great a field position after the excessive celebration penalty. 49ers by 7. The Saints leading the Rams in the fourth quarter. The other games going on. The Giants by 7 over San Diego, and Phoenix leading Atlanta. And here at the Kingdome with 10:15 remaining in regulation time, that's our story. 14-14, dig in. It should be a great last 10 minutes and 15 seconds. Jim Donovan and Jimmy Cephalo with you in this AFC West battle. Craig trying to light the fire again. The ball is caught by Tyler, the tight end, and he brings it out to the 39-yard line. Robert Tyler out of South Carolina State has put the tight end back in the Seattle offense this year, albeit not today.
Well, they lost Mike Tice to Plan B free agency, and they wind up with Tyler, who was on injured reserve all of last year, but he shows the good hands, remarkably good hands for a big man. He gets enough for a first down.
12 yards on the pass play, out to the 39-yard line. Lewis Clark and Blades are the wide receivers. That's what Tyler's done, as you see him lined up right on the end of the offensive line on the season. On first down, John Elway. A flag goes down, and I believe it's going to be called against Seattle. Now they're saying that the ball is down, and Mecklenburg has it and is running with it into the end zone. On the loose ball, he goes in for a touchdown, perhaps. They're saying that the ball was fumbled and that Denver has it at the Seattle 40-yard line. There was a flag thrown. It was going to be against Seattle anyway. Here's the play.
John L. Williams with a simple dive play up the middle. That is Smith diving over the top, kicking the ball out, and Mecklenburg falls on it for Denver. Now, no one touches him.
Then he says to Mumford, get off me. Get off me and let me run with this thing.
Now, the whistles were blowing, and that's the reason they bring it back to the 40-yard line. But actually, there was not a Seattle Seahawks player who dove up on top.
That's your replay official, Al Sabato. The ball is at the 40-yard line. It's all Broncos right now. In a tie game, they have come back from a 14-point deficit. Elway to Humphrey. And look at their running game start to open up, too, as he bangs inside the 35-yard line down to the 33, where he's tackled by the safety, Nesby Glasgow.
This much maligned group of offensive linemen for Denver should be given a great deal of credit. They were just terrorized during that first half, but we have not heard the name of Rufus Porter the second half yet.
Nor have we heard the name of Gerald Perry over the referee's mic being called for motion. So they straightened it out. At halftime, it is second down and 3. Humphrey nailed behind the line of scrimmage by Bryant. Jeff Bryant scissors in to bring Humphrey down. A clarification, or at least a description of on that fumble play. As soon as the whistle blows and the play is down, there can be no replay on it. And Mecklenburg is up with that fumble, as Humphrey will get tagged for a loss here.
From the inside, it is Bryant, number 77, guarding away from his right end position. He beats everyone down the line, including Gerald Perry, number 60, again the culprit. A tough day, both running and passing by Gerald Perry. 3rd and 3, shotgun.
The fake to Winder, and the ball was thrown low. There's one of those low fastballs that Jimmy talked about that Elway has been criticized for throwing, as he tried to get it to Jackson, and Jackson tried to scoop it up off the turf and couldn't come up with it.
A little bit of a misdirection. Nice play by the Broncos. More than enough time for Elway. A wide open receiver. He simply rushed the throw. When I said earlier, it's tough to point your finger at what's wrong with Elway. He's got such great motion, great form. There, it was easy. He simply rushed his throw. It should have been a completion to Jackson.
On 4th down, Elway is over to the sideline, was pleading his case that maybe we should go for it. And indeed, he was starting on his way out to the field with another play when he was summoned back by Dan Reeves, and they'll go with Treadwell or Horan. They're going to punt it. They'll punt it as the clock is down to 0 right now on the 45-second play clock, and that will cost them 5 yards. So indecision on the Denver sideline gets them flagged right here.
But what they did, they wanted to get that call. They simply, apparently, don't have enough confidence in David Treadwell after he missed a couple of kicks. They wanted the penalty to try to give Horan enough time to kick it into the corner because he was on the field before that clock ran out.
There's Treadwell on the sideline. Remember, he had one hit the crossbar right at the end of the half. Then he missed wide. He brought in some great numbers, 12 for 13 coming into the game. 0 for 2 on field goals today. Rufus Porter trying to run out onto the field now for Seattle as you look at James Jefferson. Horan with a line drive punt. Look at that play right there. As Denver goes down and catches it, Darren Carrington goes down and catches the ball inside the 10. A 31-yard punt in a tie game. But they have watched their Seahawks, who are 0-2 in this building this year, blow a 14-0 lead and allow Denver to come back and tie it 14-14, and now they're pinned back inside their 10 with 8:03 left in regulation. Scansey down the line in motion. Kurt Warner runs it out over the 10. Rick Dennison makes the tackle. And a flag goes down right into the pile.
Personal foul.
Denver nailed for a personal foul. And that will allow Seattle to get out of the bad field position.
Well, it ruins Dan Reeves' decision earlier to punt it, not trying for the field goal.
55 defense, first down.
They nailed Dennison on the call.
Earlier, when he decided Dennison coming out of the football game, he the one called for it. He'll get a reception from Dan Reeves on the sideline, that's for certain.
First and 10 of the 26.
55, right part of your screen, taking on the blocker, and a good heads-up play. He makes it.
Is there a little extra there? First down. Craig, look out, that could be picked off. No, he almost had it. Dennis Smith almost picked the ball off at the 25-yard line.
The reason it hurts Reeves' decision earlier to go for the punt instead of the field goal is we take another look at it. A dangerous play by David Craig, throwing it again out into the flat, the most dangerous pass in all of football. The reason it messes up his decision earlier is because the thought is to try to nail him into the corner, have your defense hold, and get great field position. Now they were doing that, good defensive play, but because of the penalty, they're out of the bad field position and at the 25-yard line.
Second down at 10. Seattle just lucky to have the ball right now as Smith almost picked the pocket of Craig there. Here's John L. Williams out of the tackle of Munford, and he'll get a couple of extra yards. Munford had him back at the 28-yard line, missed the tackle. John L. then took it out over the 30 to the 33-yard line, and they'll come up third down and about 4.
Williams slipping a tackle initially, and he sets up a better third down situation for his team. He beats the one tackle before Mecklenburg and company comes over to nail him. And it'll be third and about 3 yards for a first down.
6:55 left in regulation time. We're tied. Remember, the Broncos came in here with a 2-game lead in the AFC West over Seattle and the Raiders have already lost today. Craig out in the flat with a flag down. Scansey makes the catch, has the first down, but the play is on hold as the Bronco defenders are pointing at Blades. Maybe a pick play.
It's the best pick I've ever seen in my life, but they got caught for it, so it's not a very good one. Blades coming inside, trying to pick the defender, and that's going to be the call. He did a good job, but you got to look as if you're looking back to the quarterback as if he's going to throw the football to you, because if you're looking downfield and using your hands at all, the official is going to throw the flag, and that's what happened here.
Number 89, still third down.
Well, they call it offensive interference, but as you said,
well, that's the word for pick in that situation. That's clear and simple.
Inside the 25-yard line. So instead of first down, they get marched back deep in their own territory, back inside the 25 to the 22-yard line with 6:42 left, and it is third down and 13. 4 wide receivers in. Craig shotgun. He's lost the keys to this offense as they have not been able to make them go here in the second half. Tip ball again. This time coming in was Randy Robbins to knock the ball down to the turf. Good play by Robbins, who checks in the nickel and dime situations for the Denver Broncos, and they're going to get the ball back, and they should get it back in good field position too. Quiet afternoon now in the Dome.
Here's a look at it. The tip hole downfield means that the receivers can be knocked about. That's exactly what happens after Robbins gets his hands on the football. The receiver was downfield. I think it was Blades. Was belted by the cornerback Braxton. And no shot for a completion there.
Rodriguez will try and rebound from a negative 3-yard punt his last time. Kenny Bell did not call for a fair catch and was fair game as Patrick Hunter came in and laid the wood on him right there. Denver ball in a 14-14 tie with 6:31 left.
Kenny Bell makes the decision not to fair catch and pays the price as Patrick Hunter coming in and dropping him right in his tracks. Dangerous play by Bell. He muffed a couple of kicks last week against the Colts and does a good job to hang on, but his decision-making needs a little bit of an improvement.
Orson Mobley moves in motion. It's 1st and 10 for Denver. Elway fumbles the snap. There's a loose football. Seattle's pointing that they have it, and they do. Como, the linebacker, comes up with the football for the Seahawks, and that's a big wake-up call for this Kingdom crowd.
This is the second time today that Karts number 72 and Elway have had trouble at the center exchange. They pulled Doug Waddell, number 67, across, and that's what prevented Elway from hopping onto the football.
Just when Denver had righted the ship, a big turnover. 6:28 left. Now let's see if Seattle can cash in a tie game at 14-14. John L. Williams. Chased down by Simon Fletcher. Inside the 35, down to the 32-yard line. Let's go to the 10-minute ticker. Check in on the other games that are going along with ours. New England has added a field goal. They trail by 4. New Orleans 40-21 over the Rams. The wheels kind of came off the Rams' attack this week. Giants lead. Phoenix leads. And we're tied here. 14-14 in the Kingdom with 5:55 left. Second down, 7. 3-yard run on first down by John L. Williams. Play action fake to Warner. A screen pass set up down the middle to Warner, and a flag comes down flying late after the play. Cragen, the nose tackle, was over there in the coverage, holding against Denver. And that's an automatic first down. Is that our referee there?
Defense. First down.
I didn't pick up the number, Jimmy, did you?
No, I was unable to hear. We're having a bit of a problem with the microphone of the official on the field.
Put the ball down at the 27-yard line of Denver. 5:43 remaining, regulation time. Scansey and Blades are the wide receivers. Tyrone Braxton is nailed for the penalty. On the holding call, I formation now. Warner outside. Good pursuit by Denver. It looked like it was going to be a big play, and then Wyman Henderson entered into the picture and closed in to chase Warner out.
Dennis Smith trying to make something happen. Number 49 from the right side of your screen into the backfield. Williams does a good job of picking him up, and it's Dennison who forces him outside before Henderson makes the play.
3-yard pickup on first down. Second down, 7.
Dennis Smith is the guy who makes this Denver defense happen. He's the one who forces the fumbles, comes up with the recovery of fumbles, and I watch for him here in this series if Denver's going to get out of this hole.
They put themselves in the hole when Elway and Karts misconnected on a snap, and Como, the linebacker for the Seahawks, recovered. It's going to Scansey. Touchdown! Is growing in leaps and bounds. Here's the touchdown strike and a perfect throw, Jimmy.
Craig looked to the right, It was Dennis Smith, number 49, who he looked him off, then came back across to Scansey in the hole, and Braxton not able to get in front before the touchdown is scored.
Extra point by Johnson is good. And the Elway fumble comes back to haunt Denver as they give it away, and it ends up in a touchdown.
Watch 49 Smith in the hole. He loses your screen, but it was Craig who looked him off. And Braxton, expecting some help, did not get it from Atwater. In your screen there, number 27, Scansey in for the score.
Scansey being congratulated on the sideline.
Watch Smith. He's looking for some help and does not get it from Atwater coming over. And a blown coverage. Not really a blown coverage, but poor technique by the Denver defensive backs, allowing Scansey to sneak in.
You know, he looks a lot like Largent, size-wise, everything he does.
He's been compared a lot to him. He grew up in this area, so he has watched Steve Largent play for many a year. But as he says, he'd rather be known as Mr. Scansey. Paul Scansey has been a player who has played behind Largent. Largent has helped him through the years. And he has kind of been plugged into this offense much the way that Largent has, recovering from that injury. They use him in motion quite a bit. Good possession receiver, and actually his hands at this stage of the career is better than Steve Largent, although his patterns, of course, are not near what Largent has been running through the years.
21-14 Seattle. 5:32 left. Ken Bell takes it for the Broncos inside his 5. He's got some room to the outside and brings it out to his own 30-yard line as Denver had a nice wall set up for him. Dwayne Harper chases him out on the play. There is no penalty on the play. We originally thought that there might have been a flag down. No flag. Here's what's coming up. The lineup tonight. The Magical World of Disney. A Brand New Life. Sister Kate, My Two Dads. And a Sunday world premiere movie, Class Cruise. Jim Donovan and Jimmy Cephalo along with you. Here from Seattle's Kingdom. That's the situation. Seattle just scored after a Denver fumble. John Elway being serenaded now by the crowd as they sing his name. Bobby Humphrey. Big hit. Couple of tough yards. Flying in there was Darren Como and Vernon Maxwell to put the hit. Jacob Green there too.
Well, there's more than enough time for Denver to try and get a little bit of a running game going to move downfield. I mean, they do have more than 5 minutes to go. But look at it. Maxwell does a good job of turning it upfield. And then the big hit comes in from Glasgow and company.
Second down at 7 at the 33-yard line. Sammy Winder is the lone back in the backfield with Elway. Jackson starts down the line in motion. Elway's going to get out of there and pays the price as he gets hit by Paul Moyer, the safety, and Jeff Bryant chases the play too. But he gets some yardage out over the 35 near the 36-yard line. It will be third down for the Broncos, third and about 4.
Nothing downfield. Again, they're keeping the back end to try to help on Porter. You see Winder, number 23, staying in. That means there's one less receiver in the pattern. Nobody open downfield, and Elway forced to eat it.
So Steve Sewell checks into the lineup for the Broncos. He'll be the back in the backfield along with Elway. Out of the shotgun on third down and 4. 3:56 left. And the Broncos down by 7. Flag is down. Sewell can't come up with the football. Out at the 45-yard line. Elway looks to the official to see what the call is. Seen that since right at the end of the first half.
Illegal formation, number 60 offense. It's declined. Fourth down.
Penalty is on Gerald Perry. I'm Jim Donovan along with Jimmy Cephalo from the Kingdom in Seattle with 3:45 left in regulation time. Gerald Perry is nailed on that penalty. They decline it. And Mike Coran must punt it away to the Seahawks, who just took a 7-point lead on a touchdown catch by Paul Scansey. Fair catch called for by James Jefferson inside the 30 at the 29-yard line. NFL update time. We go to Bob Costas in New York.
Okay, Jim, about 3.5 minutes to play in Palo Alto. 3rd and 17 from the Patriot 43 for Steve Young and the 49ers. He throws it out to John Taylor, splits 2 defenders, shakes another, and the man who scored the winning touchdown last January in the Super Bowl covers 43 yards. San Francisco cruising now, leading the Pats 31-20.
3:38 left here in the fourth quarter. 21-14 Seattle. Chuck Knox saw his team jump out 14-0. Denver came back and tied 14-14, and Seattle just took the lead on their last possession as they try and run the ball. John L. Williams got it. Michael Brooks was in to make the tackle. Let's go around the NFL. These games going on. You just heard about the 49er game. New Orleans pounding the Rams and have been that way all afternoon, 40-21. The Giants in San Diego from San Diego. That's a final. The Giants win. Boy, San Diego loses close games, don't they? They lost by 1 point to the Seahawks last year. And Phoenix beating Atlanta. 21-14 here. There's Gerald Perry. It's been a tough day for him going up against Rufus Porter all afternoon. He's been flagged a few times. And he now has to watch and hope that his team can get the ball back. Kurt Warner. And the Denver defense is there. Ball pops loose. And if Dennis Smith had been able to pick that ball up, that was a live football.
Flag on the field.
As Warner coughed it up, he fumbled earlier.
Well, the problem now, Warner wanted to stay in bounds. He could have strung it to the sideline, but wanted to stay in to force Denver to try and use a timeout. A flag on the play, and so that's all for naught anyway.
All right, you heard Johnny Greer tell the headlinesman, where was the fumble on the ball? Inside the 25. All right, stay there. This one obviously is against Seattle. Mecklenburg will make the decision. 2:46 left.
Offense. It's declined. 3rd down.
Here's the play again. Warner will get the run.
And I believe the call was on John L. Williams, number 32, who had a hold of Michael Brooks by the back. And that was the call that was made. But Warner trying to stay inbounds, the ball popping out, going out. And Denver is able to preserve a timeout because of it.
3rd and 15.
It's 3rd and 15, and the Denver defense must stop Seattle here with 2:46 left and get the ball back for their offense, trailing by 7. Craig steps up, and a drop by Lewis Clark. Looked like he took his eye off the football, Jimmy. He was looking for that first down stick, I think.
Well, even had he caught the football, he was well below the period he needed to grab the first down. And I don't think he would have grabbed it unless he was able to break 2 or 3 tackles. Craig is, he's got to go further downfield with this football. He's got to get a first down yardage. Take a look at it. If he catches that football, Atwater is there to make the hit. And I think, the mistake goes both to Clark. He's got to catch that football, but also to Craig, because he's got to get enough yardage downfield for the first down.
All right, the pressure falls on Ruben Rodriguez now to get it out of harm's way. And Ken Bell is waiting for the Broncos back at his 35-yard line. We have 2:42 left. Rodriguez nails it. Bell at his 30. Good run back as he cut it back upfield to the 46-yard line. A 49-yard punt, a 16-yard return by Bell, and he gives his Broncos good field position. Tonight, coming up on NBC, our prime time lineup right after football. The entertainment starts with the magical world of Disney and a brand new life, followed by Sister Kate and My Two Dads. Then take a world-class cruise with an all-star cast. Night Court's Richard Mall, Dear John's Jane Carr, Alexandria Elson, the Hogan Family's Josh Taylor, and more stars in the NBC world premiere movie Class Cruise tonight on NBC. John Elway and the Broncos. 2:31 left. Regulation time. Need a touchdown to tie. Gets away from Nash. Got a man open downfield with a flag down. Johnson to the end zone. Touchdown, but there's a flag down. K says it's against Seattle. Decline, touchdown, Broncos. 54 yards for Elway.
Well, give the credit to Elway. They roll him out of the pocket, and he waits on Johnson as much as possible. It's the old give and go. There was the flag to push downfield by 27 Patrick Hunter, and despite the penalty, Johnson beats him for the score.
And a big missed tackle by Eugene Robinson, the safety, who had Johnson, and he slipped out of the tackle, and he went for the score.
That was a predetermined play, the comeback by Vance Johnson, the pump fake by Elway, and then the go pattern. And Johnson and Elway make it, tie it up. That is, if Treadwell can kick this through.
Kubiak to hold for Treadwell to try and tie it. Right down the middle. 21-21, 2:19 left as Elway trying to fire up the troops. They have been the comeback kids here today. They've never led, but they've been able to tie it up on a number of occasions. Let's look at the touchdown strike again.
It's play action fake. In this sense, they roll Elway out of the pocket with the pump. There's the pump. You see that? That helps the move downfield. That's timed with Johnson's outcut. He goes back up the field. Taylor is nowhere in the picture, but Robinson misses the tackle going for the football. A mistake by Robinson. When you're a defensive safety in this situation, you make sure of it. You don't go after the interception when there's only 2 minutes left in the game and you're up by 7.
Vance Johnson with the ponytail in the back. Didn't somebody try and pull that out a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, Michael Dean Perry. What Johnson does is he puts it up over his head and then his helmet on top. Well, Michael Dean Perry just reached in and yanked that thing down.
That was in their only loss in what was a wild afternoon in Cleveland when they were pelted from the Cleveland Dog Pound. Their only losing afternoon of the season. And Vance Johnson has just scored on a touchdown strike from Elway, 54 yards. Elway has fought through a lot of adversity today. And that's an Elway afternoon. That's been missing a lot this season. Here's the kickoff of Treadwell. Jefferson from his 10. Look out. Nice comeback by Randy Robbins to make the open field tackle at about the 28-yard line. Jefferson had a little daylight though. So John Elway, who got off to just a ferocious start here today, had terrible numbers, now has thrown for 272 yards and has answered back to tie the game on a 54-yard touchdown pass, and now he throws the load over to that man squatting in the Seahawk huddle, David Craig, with 2:10 left in regulation time. The ball at the 28-yard line, and they go right to the shotgun. Scancy to the 36. Tackled by Atwater, and we have 2 minutes left in regulation time. In a tie game, 21-21, 2 minutes left. Well, Seattle has it. Second down at 2. Scancy starts in motion. Kurt Warner is stood up by Mumford, the linebacker, but appears to have the first down out near the 40-yard line.
Just thinking a little bit about the future, Norm Johnson may be the best field goal kicker from 50-plus yards in the league. He is 47% from 50-plus in his career. They don't need a lot of yards to get him in that kind of range. 47% from 50-plus yards is incredible for a kicker, and he's warming up on the sideline.
Clock is running. 1:39 left in regulation time. John L. Williams in the backfield. He was a first down, 1st and 10. Craig across the middle. That's almost picked off. Randy Robbins was right there, had the ball in his hands as they were trying to get it across the middle for Blades. He's checking his gloves on that one.
The Broncos not putting a lot of pressure. They're content to drop 7 people back in the defensive secondary. And Robbins underneath, had the underneath coverage, a mistake on the part of Craig. Take a look at him. He's got deep help as well. It's Kip Corrington, 25, coming over to help out deep, and so that allowed Robbins to sneak underneath the receiver.
Now, normally you would say a wide receiver should make a catch. I really think he should have had that interception.
Yeah, that's a big mistake.
Second down and 10 with 1:29 left. Clock stops, of course, on the incompleted pass. Big rush. Mecklenburg with the sack. Craig is down. Carl Mecklenburg got through clean, and he's back at the 25-yard line.
And a bit of a surprise because Denver, again, just sent 4 people. They dropped 7 into the secondary, and Mecklenburg does the work. They put him down on the 4-man line. Normally a linebacker, but in third down passing situations, he goes down. A stunning game in between, and Mecklenburg missed completely.
Timeout on the field right now with 1:22 left in regulation time. Dave Craig to the sideline. 1:22 left, regulation time. It is third down and 21. An important stat in a tie game late. Timeouts, and there you saw them. But a tricky call here, third and 21, deep in your own territory.
Watch inside.
Craig flush, but gets it out to John L. Williams. Boy, did he try and make things happen as he shook out of a Dennis Smith tackle and a couple of more tackles and brings it out to the 39-yard line. And Denver calls a timeout with 1:07 left. So Denver's 1:07 left. And Seattle has to give away the football on a punting situation. Fourth down and 11. Ruben Rodriguez into the football. Short punt. Hits at the 30, at the 31. They don't blow the play dead, and one of the Seahawks touched the ball. Jaron Miller got his hand on it and touched it. Only a 30-yard punt. Elway getting instructions from Dan Reeves on the sideline. With 55 seconds left, and one of the best in the business in this situation will take control of the Bronco offense.
Well, the man that's been his favorite target today and throughout the year has been number 82, Vance Johnson. And so that's who we should be looking for this afternoon. And of course, Seattle's going to try and double team him. There's not gotten much action from Mark Jackson on the other side.
Well, this is like Denver at least having last at-bats. In regulation time, Seattle almost has to play for overtime right now. 55 seconds left. They toss, run it, and Winder's got a crease. Out to the 43 to the 44-yard line and a first down. Boy, that's a tricky play, Jimmy, flipping the ball like that in traffic.
It's actually an easy play because if it hits the ground, it's an incomplete forward pass and not a fumble.
Elway out of the gun. Michael Young tries to make the catch. They rule it's incomplete at the 44-yard line. Young was already involved in a controversial play today when he made a great catch down the sideline that set up Denver's first score. At first they ruled him out, and then they went to replay and was reversed.
As far as the battles of the kickers are concerned, you've got to like Johnson on the other side of the field from Dan Reeves. As you mentioned earlier, 47% from 50-plus yards. On this side, Treadwell, the young kicker, Dan Reeves decided earlier not to allow him to kick a 50-yard field goal. And so that sack falls in Seattle's favor.
Second and 10, 30 seconds left in regulation time. Elway going big, Young's wide open. Down to the 10-yard line. First and goal, Denver. They'll mark him inside the 10, a 47-yard pass play.
This is the same play that they beat for the touchdown earlier that they won before. Take a look at it. Left side, the pump fake. Then they go downfield. Moyer is just flat-footed there, and so is Jenkins, number 24. But Michael Young makes the big play. Same exact play, different receiver, and Seattle bid on it twice.
19 seconds left in regulation time. Mike Young out of UCLA comes up with the catch, and Elway put it right on his fingertips. A beautiful toss down the field. Good for 47 yards. They have it just inside the Seattle 10 with 19 seconds left. And now, of course, you have to say, do you kick it right now?
Oh, you kick it right at this minute. 19 seconds left, no timeouts remaining. What happens if somebody catches the football and gets caught? You have an opportunity to win the football game, put your team on the field and kick it through.
Hold. The spot at the 17-yard line, 27-yard try. To give Denver their first lead of the day. He missed. And really wasn't even close.
David Treadwell, who was 12 of 13 coming in today, just shanks it to the right. Not even close is correct. And the young man is 0 for 3 on the afternoon.
He came into today 12 for 13. As they console him on the sidelines, but he just has to feel just empty right now. Seattle's going to play for overtime as they an extra period to decide this one this afternoon in a 21-21 tie. David Treadwell of the Denver Broncos missed a 27-yard field goal with 16 seconds left in regulation time as he had the win right on his foot and shanked it wide right.
And this second half has belonged to Denver throughout. They have dominated this half of play. The only time Seattle was able to get on the scoreboard was from a miscue of John Elway, a fumbled snap from center.
It has not been a good day for Treadwell. He's 0 for 3 in field goal tries. There he is, carrying the load right now mentally, hoping that he can get one more crack. Overtime from the Kingdom. Seattle will get first crack at it as James Jefferson takes it at his 9. Randy Robbins covers on him out at the 26-yard line. Robbins down on the open field tackle of Jefferson. 16-yard return, and Seattle has the ball, 1st and 10, out over their own 25 at the 26-yard line to start things off in overtime. These two teams have played 2 regular season overtime games against each other, and Dan Reeves and the Broncos are 2-0 against Seattle in overtime. 21-21. Play action fake by Craig. Gets away from the oncoming Holmes. Scrambles to the 30. Carl Mecklenburg is in on the tackle, but Ron Holmes made some pretty good pressure for the Broncos and flushed Craig out of the pocket.
Denver sending just 4 people against David Craig, allowing their secondary to drop 7 and forcing Craig to try to find a hole. That's the reason for the pressure there. He actually had more than enough time to throw the football, but good defensive strategy by Wade Phillips and the Denver Broncos staff.
We want to welcome those of you who have been watching the Patriots and San Francisco 49ers. I'm Jim Donovan along with Jimmy Cefalo. We're in overtime in Seattle's Kingdom. Denver and Seattle 21-21 tie as David Craig had just an incompleted pass thrown on 2nd down, making it 3rd and 6, the first possession of overtime. Seattle led 14-0. Denver came back, tied the game 14-14. John Elway fumbled. Seattle got the ball back. David Craig threw to Paul Scansey for a touchdown, but then Elway answered back with a 54-yard touchdown pass to Vance Johnson. Denver got the ball back and missed a 27-yard field goal with 16 seconds left, and we're in overtime. First possession, 3rd and 6. It's complete to Blades, and that's a first down at the 40-yard line.
This is where Seattle really misses Steve Largent. Just 4 people being rushed at David Craig, dropping everybody back into the zone, and we all know who the best zone pass receiver in football is. That's Steve Largent, but he's up in the press box because of injury here. Blades beats Braxton across the middle and picks up the first down, but the strategy is working for the Broncos. They've been getting pressure with only 4 people.
There's Largent, forced to be a spectator. He's in the yellow sweater up in the Seattle Seahawks coaching box. He'll be back in his Seahawk uniform next week. Denver looks like they might have jumped. Ron Holmes, I saw 90 Ron Holmes jump up a little bit. It could have been in the middle of the line, Greg Cragen. But it looks like the Broncos jumped off. Johnny Greer, your referee.
Outside, 90 defense. Still first down.
It was Ron Holmes.
Take a look at the bottom of your screen. Ron Holmes, number 90, with just a little bit of a jump, gets caught in the neutral zone. And Craig, with a good cadence at the line of scrimmage, gets 5 yards in the bank.
Boy, you don't want to give up any yards that way in overtime.
Because for this very reason, though, Norm Johnson, again, 47% from 50-plus yards. He's not far from his range.
So it's 1st and 5 from their own 45-yard line. Play action fake to Warner. John L. Williams cannot make the catch. Carl Mecklenburg was closing on Williams as the play action fake went to Warner, and then they throw it to Williams. Here's the scoreboard now on our 10-minute ticker. San Francisco over New England, 37-20. That's a final from Palo Alto. The Saints win over the Rams. The Giants win over San Diego, and the Cardinals beat the Falcons. And here in the Kingdome, we're in overtime with 12:53 left in a 21-21 game.
The two receivers that Seattle likes in this situation, John L. Williams, the fullback, and Paul Scansey, the wide receiver. And that's what Denver will be looking for on this second down pass.
2nd and 5, as Jimmy said, on 2nd down. Let's see what Craig does. Mecklenburg blitzing. Craig going for Blades. Almost pulled it off the fingertips at the 10-yard line. 3rd and 5.
Hey, this is a tremendous throw by David Craig. He gives only one person the opportunity to catch it, and it is Brian Blades, perfectly led downfield. And that's got to be a pass he's got to come up with. In overtime situation, you got to sacrifice a little bit. On the edge of his fingertips, this will go down as a plain drop. He's got to dive after that football under these circumstances.
Craig is 20 for 35 today, 213 yards, 2 touchdown passes, 1 interception, as Blades heads out to his wide receiver spot. 3rd and 5, out of the shotgun. Blades has this one for a 1st down. Into Denver territory at the 48-yard line. So he came right back to him.
Well, that's the right way to do it. They, again, had everybody coming in the line of scrimmage, just 4 people. You see the zone being set up there. And Blades coming in from the backside to make the 1st down catch. Now they're only about 7 or 8 yards away from the range of Norm Johnson.
Chuck Knox, you bet he's counting off those yardage markers right now to see when they're in range. 1st and 10 from the Denver 44. John L. Williams down to the Denver 41. Ron Holmes is in on the tackle along with Greg Craig in the nose tackle. About a 3-yard gain, 2nd and 7. And always before you are going to attempt an overtime field goal, make sure you load up on the fluids.
I think Norm Johnson's probably not even thinking what he's doing on the sideline. His concentration is simply to get on the field and get a shot at winning this game.
2nd down and 7 from the 41-yard line. Warner and Williams in the backfield, wide split. Wide open. Brian Blades makes a one-handed catch, garners it in, and takes it to the Denver 30-yard line. And a 1st down. Getting closer.
Well, they're now within Johnson's range, but a great catch this time by Blades coming across the middle. He misses the diving catch a little earlier by not laying out for it. But this is a tough catch coming across the middle. He knows there's zone in there. One-handed catch, led a little bit too far downfield by Craig. But nonetheless, he has redeemed himself for the early miscue.
6 catches, 70 yards for Blades. Signals coming in right now. Oh, a little bit of disagreement there on the sideline as to what they were going to do. Right up over center. Here's Warner. He was 1 tackle away from going all the way and ending it right now. Tyrone Braxton had to fight to bring him down as Kurt Warner didn't want to go down. He wanted to end it right there.
Well, they break it over to the right side. Brian Millard, 71. Mike Wilson, 75. With a good blocking in front. If it's not for Braxton, Warner gets into the end zone and ends this thing.
Jimmy, they're going to kick it right now. Johnson is on the field.
Well, with a kicker like Johnson, we mentioned one of the most accurate in NFL history. It's no wonder he'll go from 40 yards, however.
A 40-yard field goal attempt.
This may be a bit premature. I'm not sure I agree with this call.
Whistle, and we might have a timeout. Denver calls a timeout. We'll be back and see if Norm Johnson can connect with a 40-yard winning standings. Denver at 5-1. Seattle's at 3-3. The Raiders have lost today already. So, if Denver wins this ball game, they would open up a 3-game lead on their 2 closest competitors in the AFC West. If Norm Johnson can connect here, he would cut the Denver lead down to 1 game. You got a 2-game shift riding on this kick.
If Denver could win this football game, they'd be able to play 500 for the rest of the season. It would be tough for either the Raiders or the Seahawks to catch them. And so, although this is just week 7 of the NFL season, this may be the deciding factor as we go down the line for the rest of the year.
Now, the only reason I could think that they might want to kick it right now is because earlier in the game they were in this position and were trying to get closer to kick a field goal, and they fumbled. So they have been prone to cough it up here this afternoon. Here's Johnson. 7 for 10 on the season. Kemp will hold. They had a field goal go awry today on a fumbled snap. For the win. He missed it! At the last second, that ball hooked left. So each team has had a chance to win this thing. The Broncos on a 27-yard field goal in regulation with just seconds left, and this one by Johnson in overtime.
But again, we go back to the point. There was 2nd down and short yardage. Overtime has just begun, and you put your kicker into the position of trying to kick from 40 yards away. Yes, they've got a lot of confidence in him. He's a great kicker, but wait a minute. Let's get the football a little bit closer and make it a bit easier for Norm Johnson.
Well, that subject will be debated if Seattle goes on to lose this game, even if they don't. Why did they kick it there? Elway's been red hot in the second half. 9:48 left in overtime. Bobby Humphrey is hit quickly. Vernon Maxwell, the linebacker, is over, along with Darren Como to make the tackle of Humphrey. Humphrey has a touchdown on a gutsy 4th down plunge from inside the 1. Earlier today, he's playing with extremely sore ribs.
John Elway has had the best day of this season in 1989. 27th in the NFL in passing, but look at those numbers.
It didn't start out very good for him, but he hung right in there and racked up big yardage in the second half. 2nd down and 9. Elway throws in a lot of coverage, but Mark Jackson is there to make the catch. It's a Denver 1st down out over their own 35-yard line. The coverage was made by Dwayne Harper, but Denver has what they want, a 1st down, and the drive continues.
Yeah, but watch this perfect throw. It's got to be that way. Elway looks off Moyer inside and gets the ball deep into the pocket to prevent the defensive back Harper from coming over and making the play. That is all John Elway's on.
Earlier in the game, and I say this for people who have just joined us, Elway had a lot of pressure on him by the Seattle pass rush, but Denver's offensive line has done a great job here in the second half. Humphrey, no gain. Joe Nash is there, the nose tackle, 72. Nash and Karts get into a little push and shove match.
Well, it has been Rufus Porter in that first half that gave the Bronco offensive front fits, getting after Elway, sacking him twice in the first half. But what Denver did was to put a running back over on that side to help the offensive tackle Perry, and that's taken the pressure off of John Elway. What they have sacrificed is another pass receiver into the pattern.
Jackson is out on the top of your screen. Johnson is inside him. It was a 54-yard strike to Vance Johnson late in the game that tied it up. Elway on 2nd and 10. Almost picked off by Patrick Hunter as he tried to get the ball to his tight end Clarence Kay, who was well down the field at the Seattle 40-yard line. But Patrick Hunter almost had it.
Elway just missed hitting him on this pattern. Watch the zone as you look at it from the Seattle side of the ball. They rush only 4 people, drop everybody back into coverage, and it is Hunter who comes off his man inside to make the play on Kay. If Elway can sneak that one in, then the Broncos are in a position to try a field goal of their own.
So now it's on John Elway, wide-eyed, 3rd and 10. Out of the shotgun. Steve Sewell in the backfield with him. Flag is down, and Elway throws it away. Let's check out the penalty. Holding Denver. Seattle should decline it and get the ball back.
Now the special teams come into play, Jim, and Rusty Tillman, the special teams coach of Seattle, likes to say that he thinks his teams should win 2 football games.
Offense. It's decline. 4th down.
As we take a listen to the penalty, his team should win 2 games for him every year. They won last week by blocking an extra point attempt by the San Diego Chargers as time ran out, and now they're in the same kind of spot.
You saw Rusty bending over on the sideline. That's Mike Curran, and that's James Jefferson, and they almost did get to the punt. Darren Miller was closest to getting to it. What a great punt by Haran under pressure. Jefferson a fair catch. That's a 52-yard punt when the chips were all on the table. And Dave Craig will check it out with his offensive coordinator, first-year John Becker, over on the sideline, over from Indianapolis, checking with Craig as he heads out. 1st and 10. Seattle's second possession of overtime with 7:29 left in the overtime. Craig down the middle. That's picked off by Dennis Smith with a lot of blocking in front of him. To the 10, to the 9-yard line. He was going for his tight end, Robert Tyler, and Dennis Smith comes up with the interception and a 28-yard run back. And the Broncos appear to be ready to try and kick the winning field goal right away.
Well, for those of us who just joined us, it was Treadwell who missed a kick from 27 yards away with 16 seconds remaining in regulation, but it is Craig right now who's discussing with himself a clear overthrow, trying to get it to Tyler over the middle of the field.
Hey, I told him when we went
Dennis Smith with the interception.
Take a look at it. Tyler getting down the middle of the field, the tight end, number 87. And it's Craig with just too much onto the football, a clear overthrow, and that's the danger part of the field when you overthrow it in the middle, when you give that what they call a double zone, deep safeties in the middle of the field. And Smith gets his 2nd interception of the year. He actually had Tyler open for just a second. Over the linebacker, it was Dennis in 55 who forced him to throw it a bit long.
Denver's been so proud of their entire defense, but very proud of their safeties, rookie Steve Atwater and Dennis Smith. And they have played well today. And Dave Craig, who has had a pretty good ball game, throws that interception right there. But in the second half, he's been victimized a couple of times. And now David Treadwell gets a second life. It's a 27-yard field goal attempt. That's the distance he missed from with 16 seconds left in regulation time. He's 0 for 3 today for the win. He's got it. There's a flag down. It's against Seattle. The Broncos pull it out in overtime, and that's a very relieved David Treadwell as Chuck Knox walks off. The Denver Broncos on a 27-yard field goal pull it out after they were down all afternoon. This is their first lead of the afternoon. 24-21. The Broncos go to 6-1 and now have that big, giant 3-game lead in the AFC Western Division. And for the Seattle Seahawks, they go to 0-3 here in the Kingdome.
David Treadwell finally gets one through, 0 for 3 before the kick. He was a free agent a year ago in the Denver camp, cut because Rich Carlos was the kicker. They kept him here. Signed with Phoenix this past year, and then because of a holdout from Carlos, it was Treadwell who came over in a trade with the Cardinals. He kicks it through to put Denver's record at 6-1.
Pass to J.T. Smith down to the 40. They didn't want to try a 57-yard field goal attempt.